What's up guys? In this large box I have the most unique looking mini PC I have ever tested on this channel. So this is the Xyber Truck. Roll the intro. Now I specifically asked the company, how do you pronounce the name? They informed me it's called the Xyber Truck XPC. So if we talk design, this is a really nice replica model of Eon's favorite truck, made from a metal body with moving wheels. All four doors open up. I love the intricate details inside the car, and the back also folds down to give you a ramp. The design is absolutely incredible, and I just can't believe that this is actually a fully working mini PC. Now you might be wondering, where are the ports? Well, the I/O is completely hidden. You can't see any of the ports from the first glance. So can any of you guys guess where the ports are? Well, they are actually hidden behind the rear bumper. Now let's quickly go through the ports. So we have a power socket, we've got a USB-A 3.1 port, we've got an HDMI 2.1, and we have two USB-C 3.2 ports that both support display out. So this mini PC supports triple 4K display out via the HDMI and the two USB Type-C ports. And right at the end you can see there we've got an audio jack as well. Now the specifications are actually pretty damn good. Let's check them out, shall we? So this mini PC is powered by the AMD Ryzen 7 8845HS. That's 8 cores, 16 threads, clock speed 3.8 GHz base, and maximum turbo is 5.1 GHz. For graphics we have the integrated AMD Radeon 780M. You've got a massive 32 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, upgradable to 64 gigs max. You have a 1TB M.2 SSD, that's PCIe Gen 4, and that can also be upgraded to 4TB max. This mini PC also features Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, it's running Windows 11 Professional, and it does support triple 4K display out. So this thing is powerful, it has an incredible design, but how much does it cost? Well, I'm actually pleased to tell you that you can pick this up from only £415, which is a super early bird offer, and you get the Ryzen 7 640HS. If you want the same chipset that I have here, that's the Ryzen 8845HS, the price is £481, and you get the 16 plus 512 variant. And for the exact same version that I have on my desk, that's the 8845HS with 32 gigs of RAM and 1TB storage, the price is still only £542. So the early bird price is certainly quite attractive. So we are all set up and I have all my cables plugged in, power, HDMI, Type-C. We have connected dual monitors so we get to test that out too. But I have a question for you guys. Where is the power button? It's so well hidden, I actually couldn't find the power button anywhere. So in the end, I learnt that the power button is hidden in the front suspension. So you just need to push down on the front bonnet and the PC will power on. How awesome is that, people? And as soon as you power on, you will see the front and rear headlights turn on too. And here is my dual screen mini PC Xyber Truck in action. Absolutely amazing. Now the screens I'm using are the Mobile Pixels Geminos X dual screen vertical monitors, and I absolutely love these screens. They are foldable and they're powered by only one adapter. Really nice space saving design. You've probably seen these in the background in most of my videos recently. Links are in the description box if you want to check these screens out. Alright, so it's time to do a teardown to see what the insides look like, and we can of course check out the upgrade options too. First compartment has two screws behind which you will find the 1TB SSD PCIe 4.0, and you can swap this out for an SSD up to 4TB. But if you do swap it out, you do need to reinstall Windows. So next up there are 8 outer screws to open, and then you'll be able to lift off the cover, showing you the inside of the car. And in case you're wondering, here is the top shell of the car, and you can see nice and sturdy construction. So far so good. Let's keep going. Now to access the internals you need to remove 8 more screws. These screws are a lot smaller in size than the outer 8 screws that you've already opened, so try to keep them separately. Also be careful when lifting off the cover, as there is a ribbon cable attached for the cooling fan towards the front of the car, which I was not aware of, and I did pull it off from its latch, but luckily I did not damage the cable or the latch, as I was quite careful with it. So yeah, I got lucky, so be careful at this point. And here are your internals. So you can see the main board, you can see we have dual cooling fans with copper heat sinks, which is really nice. You can see 2 RAM slots over here. We have 2 sticks of 16GB dual channel RAM pre-installed. You can actually swap these out and have a maximum of 32 gigs per slot, giving you a maximum of 64 gigs of RAM. Now over here you can see the ribbon cable that got pulled off from its connection, and I'll show you the easiest way to connect it back up. So drop the main board back into its position, and on the right remove the 4 screws so you can lift up that mini board. And then you'll be able to connect that ribbon cable back into place and secure the latch. And that's it. You can now secure the 4 screws, followed by the 8 smaller internal screws. So I guess this teardown will help you. When you're opening your own one, it's a good idea to disconnect the ribbon cable first by opening the 4 screws from that mini board, and then you can go ahead and unscrew the 8 internal screws. So that was just a quick teardown to show you the internals, and I love how this thing has been put together. Upgrade options are also pretty good to have as well. So here we are, we're at the desktop. You can see I've already personalized this computer and have downloaded many games and apps. So I've already got myself acquainted to it. First of all, let's head over to System Properties. And over here you can see some of the information. We've got device name, processor AMD Ryzen 7 8845HS, Radeon 780M graphics, 32 gigs of RAM, 64-bit operating system, and it's Windows 11 Professional. Now, system storage info, you've got a 1TB SSD pre-installed, and when you start off you have about 900 gigs free. You can see I've got 400 gigs free because I've downloaded so many games and the games are massive in size, so I've already used up half my drive. And the second drive you are seeing is my 64 gig flash drive, which contains all my 4K samples. And that is exactly what we're going to be testing next. So we're going to try playing back some 4K video from USB and see how this system performs. Starting off with high bitrate Jellyfish 4K demo, and the first video is 160 megabits per second. And you can see it's handling fine, playing back nice and smooth. Okay, let's try the second file. That's 180 megabits per second. And you can see that is also playing back nice and smooth. The final clip, the largest file, 400 megabits per second. And you can see no sweat at all. It's playing back all of the 4K high bitrate Jellyfish demos as expected. I also tested out 4K samples with different files and HDR formats, and they all work great out of the box using the default media player. So I didn't have to download any codecs to make this work. Okay, so now we're moving on to some YouTube streaming, starting off with the usual Costa Rica clip. And I can confirm YouTube does support 4K 60 with HDR.
He's been ahead of his time.
So now it's time for some gaming, and we are beginning with GTA 5. I have the resolution set to 1080p and the graphics set to the highest. And you can see the frame rates, we're achieving just over 70 frames per second average, and the TDP does peak at around 54 watts. The game actually plays really well, but this game is at least 10 years old. Let's try something a bit more recent. So this is A Plague Tale, and this game is quite graphically intense. Resolution again set to 1080p, and this time I've set the graphics to medium, as I know this game does require a pretty powerful system to play at the highest graphics. And you can see we are still comfortably getting over 30 frames per second with the TDP peaking at 54 watts. The game is more than playable here at medium graphics. You could lower the graphics for better frame rates, but this is what you can expect performance wise when playing a game like A Plague Tale. Okay, so now we're playing Call of Duty Cold War. We've got the resolution set to 1080p and the graphics are set to medium. You can see we're achieving well over 120 frames per second with the TDP peaking at 54 watts. And you can see we're not even playing the game full screen. So I just have it in window mode and the performance is unbelievable. So next up we are playing WWE 2K24. I have the resolution set to 1080p and overall graphic settings is set to medium. The game plays very well at 60 frames per second, super smooth. I'm pulling off all my moves and reversals, no issues there. TDP peaking at around 54 watts.
Wait is done. Look out!
Okay, next game, Undisputed Boxing, resolution set to 1080p and the graphics again set to medium, and you can see we're achieving just over 30 frames per second. The game plays pretty well.
A nightmare start to this. Out goes Ben!
I've seen many shots like that. A simple short shot put the fighter down.
Now, just for fun, I'm testing out quite an old game from 2009. This is COD Modern Warfare 2. Graphics set to 1440p, and I've completely maxed this out to extra ultra high graphics. And you can see we're achieving well over 130 frames per second. This is expected from such an old game, but I really do like playing Spec Ops on this. So yeah, here it is.
They're done. Good work, gentlemen.
So after playing all of those games, I did a quick CPU temperature test, and you can see 45 degrees current, minimum, maximum was 60. So I didn't experience any overheating issues during my tests. So that brings us to our benchmarks, beginning with Geekbench single core score of 2568 and multi-core score of 12909. And in the AMD benchmark test, we achieved 949K. And finally, CPU benchmark scores by Passmark, we have a score of 28,752. So let's see how this compares to the other mini PCs of this year. So here is my top performing mini PC chart for 2024, allowing you to compare the specs, prices and features of all the recently reviewed mini PCs. Now the ranking is based on benchmark scores, so looking at AMD, Geekbench and Passmark, I give it an average and the mini PC gets ranked accordingly. So the new Xyber Truck XPC takes position 5 on this chart with quite a respectful ranking and a very decent overall performance. Now you can view the full versions of all my charts online at chigstech.com and read them at your leisure and completely free of charge. So there you have it guys, that was the Xyber XPC Mini PC. Standout features for me, AMD Ryzen 7 performance is great, supports triple 4K display out, the design is very unique, the overall build quality is good, very well made and nicely put together. You got upgrade options as well, so it's future proof. For the price, this is actually a very good mini PC. Although saying all of that, I wish it had an Ethernet port and an extra USB-A port would have been nice, but can't complain about the performance, the cooling and the uniqueness of this product. So that's all for this video. Any questions, do let me know. And if you want to see more of my latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews, hit the like button, sub to the channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.